there has not been great. Our Tom Pelissero and Aditi Kinkhabwala are in Pittsburgh. Tom is covering the Jags and Aditi is with the Steelers, and you both are covering the weather, and you look so bundled up next to that giant thermometer.
Well, that's right, Colleen. We're both standing in the snow right now. There were about 6 inches overnight, and that's on top of 2 inches of rain yesterday. So the Steelers tarped this field Thursday night. The tarp is still out here. Tom and I have watched them plow the snow. They're hoping to get rid of all of the snow today, and the heater is on underneath this field to keep the ground not too hard. But, Tom, this will be the coldest game that Blake Bortles has ever played in.
It will.
It affects him?
You go back to 2 weeks ago in Tennessee, that was the coldest game, and they did not perform particularly well. Blake Bortles has a lot of things besides the weather that he has to be concerned with. The entire Jaguars offense has to try to rebound from the way they looked last week against Buffalo. They did practice outdoors down in Jacksonville on grass. You can't really simulate this type of weather, even though it was in the 20s last week in Jacksonville.
Well, it's funny because the Steelers practice inside in their indoor facility, and they piped in air conditioning. But it was Le'Veon Bell who said to me, you have no idea how cold it is until you actually get hit in it. So he definitely thinks that's an advantage for the Steelers tomorrow. And, of course, if Le'Veon Bell is going, then that's advantage Steelers as well.
And the Jaguars have talked all week. They need to stop the run. That's where it begins with them. 6 losses for Jacksonville this season. They've given up an average of 155 yards on the ground in those games. If there's a weakness for the Jaguars, that's it. So stopping Bell, that is job one for them. Putting Vaseline on their arms, bundling up on the sidelines in sweats, whatever else they do, that's all just sort of tangents to the task at hand.
But as we sit here and we talk about that first game, as Colleen mentioned, the problem there is that the Steelers never even ran the ball. We saw a lot of Antonio Brown, and that's the question mark going into tomorrow's game. When we talked to Mike Tomlin yesterday, he said Antonio Brown looked great. He had no worries about him. He was point blank asked, will he play on Sunday coming off of that calf injury? He said yes. But of course, Tom, we're waiting for the walkthrough today to see if he's back on the field, because yesterday
a person close to Brown told me he really had what we can loosely refer to as an intestinal issue. It would not have been comfortable for him to practice, but they said he looked like himself all week in practice. They expect the same tomorrow.
All right, and we'll head back to Mike Robinson, and in the next hour, we'll tell you if he was at walkthrough.
Thank you, Aditi and Tom. They look like they need James Palmer jacket out there, man. It's cold out there. Look, man.
20 degrees.
I'm sitting here with Benjamin Watson. Ben, there's been a lot made of those 5 interceptions thrown way back in the season with Ben Roethlisberger. Do you think it makes a difference in this matchup?
Well, I don't think it makes a difference for Ben. You know, I think Ben's at a place where he can get past. I mean, after that game is when he was talking about, am I going to retire? Am I going to keep playing?
Yeah.
All that was swirling for a veteran player going through the regular season. I see why he may have said some of those things. But now this is the playoffs. This is a totally new season. When they step on that field, with no sleeves on, it might be a different story.
Yeah, man. Well, look, let's bring in big homie Steve Smith Sr. Hey, Steve, man, what do you think? Do you think those 5 interceptions, you think is going to make a difference?
No, I don't believe it'll make a difference, because when you go back and when you look at the highlights and you see 30 to 9, you go, oh, okay, wow, they destroyed them. But then when you go dig deeper and you look at the statistics and you see what Big Ben did and AB what he did, I don't believe and see that happening again. Also, too, Blake Bortles was 8 for 16 for 94 yards. At one point in the third quarter, at 8 minutes and 14 seconds left in the third quarter, near the end of the game, they had 14 straight run plays. What does that tell you? They don't want Blake Bortles to throw the ball. Don't muck it up. And so when you have that kind of inconsistency, that's not a good thing playing the quarterback. But Ben is going to be Ben. He's going to sling the ball. And AB had 157 yards. You just don't wake up out of bed and just get that. That doesn't make you afraid. That makes you go in there confident saying, we lost, but I put up big plays. Now it's starting over, and I'm going to put up big plays again this week.
Oh, gee, Steve Smith Sr., man, I got to agree with you, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers moved the ball between the 20s. They got a little cute in the red zones. Their offensive coordinator did some things that were a little uncharacteristic, but Steve Smith is right, man. I mean, it's really on Big Ben, and if he can continue to maintain his high level of success. So, peace out there, bro. Keep staying warm, dog.
Bro.
Colleen, what you got?
Hey, they out here, the peer pressure is real. I've been offered Jack Daniels. I've been offered beer, and the dude just hit me up with moonshine. I'm going to tell you right now.
Just don't take your coat off and take your shirt off like they do. Just don't
you
do
don't
that.
know what's going to come out my mouth.
Yeah.
So I am resisting. the peer pressure.
Keep that,
but
keep
it
the
is
M,
cold
the M.
out here.
That might have been my